Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new vlog of basically training, getting ready for a dressage event with Trika at the end of September. I know I promised a week in the life, and guys, I'm sorry, a lot came up over the last week, so it's kind of been a bit hectic, a bit all over the place. We haven't really had time to do an awful lot, so I do kind of apologise for that. But the week in the life is coming, so what I did film for the week in the life, I thought I would just turn into a training session sort of vlog with the girls, mainly because I figured that would be nicer and easier for you. So I did ride tricks nearly every day last week. I did sort of do a lot of training with her. Some of it I filmed, some of it I didn't film, just because I used a fair bit on. I was on time crunching most days because we had to be at the hospital or we had to be places, and yeah, a lot of it kind of went out the window. My kind of plan for last week went out of the window. I got phoned up on Monday afternoon that I had a hospital appointment, and I went to that. And then obviously Adam's granddad's been very poorly, so he's been in hospital. So it's been a bit of a hectic week to and from the hospital most days, but in the sense I did get into training. So during this training, obviously I worked Trika, warmed her up on both reins very evenly. I did actually have my phone on me and my camera as well, so I did keep checking the times, and obviously on my warm up. So I did a lot of walk halt transitions to warm her up before adding in our trot. And then once we were trotting away, I was determined to sort of get warmed up so we could start working on our canter work, because that is something we do need to work on. But obviously I wanted her to warm up properly. She is 26 years old now, so I really needed to make sure her muscles were warmed up. So I added in some serpentines, added in some 3 loops, I added in figure of 8s, circles, things like that, to really keep Trika moving but also keep her thinking about the next movement, and also to get myself basically back on top of my riding, because I do have bad habits where I'll just let the reins go and she can walk on the long rein, which sometimes is quite nice because she can really stretch out and work long and low, and other times I'm bad for it because I slip my reins in the trot and then the canter, and then she's like, yeah, I'm just going. So a little bit of bad habits I have, and a little bit of bad habits Trika and I both have, but Trix will tell me off if I'm doing too much, too wrong, too soon. So yeah, it kind of works both ways with us. We have quite a good partnership with each other. So working on this session, obviously pretty much our training sessions in the school were pretty much the same, learning the routine as well as obviously warming up. Obviously I didn't film learning the routine properly. I just don't know, for some reason I just didn't really want to film, because obviously I wasn't feeling myself, and hospital appointments, I don't like going to hospitals, and things have been happening a lot here, so it's kind of hit and miss with me at the moment. But anyway, back to riding. I was working on our centre line because that is a big point mark in dressage with our centre line work, so it does need working. Obviously the mounting block shouldn't be there anyway, but I did use it as a point. I used it sort of as a centre point. So now we're moving into our trot work, and obviously halt to walk, walk to halt, trot to halt, halt to walk. Oh, for crying out loud, I don't know what I'm saying. I was basically working up through the transitions and bringing my halt work into it, because in one of my movements on the test I've got to do a halt to working trot. Now that's quite difficult for me and Trika, especially in our working trot, because we don't really do a working trot, we do a very rushed trot. So that's something again I do have to work on. It's not really about speed, it's more about getting her to lengthen out her stride a little bit more instead of her little trot. Even though she is super duper comfortable in her trot when you're sitting on her, I think I've put in a little bit of a clip later on of doing one of our movements for the test, and she's so comfortable. But yeah, this is her little trot, and I need to get her into the working trot phase, which did come during the week, but it took us a week to get the working trot. So I need to work more on the working trot than I do pretty much anything else. So I need to work on that. I already know that. But she was so good and she was so well behaved. It is like riding a powerhouse sometimes, because she's so forwards. On this day particularly, she was really forward. She was quite quick off of my leg in some places. Other places she was like, yeah, I'm not moving that fast. So this is one of our halt to trot transitions. Now if you watch carefully, we don't fully go into trot. We do one like little stride of walk before she goes up. And that's where a few years ago we would have done that exactly on point, and now we're like, I can't actually do that. So this is where I'm actually making her wait and making her think, because she was just like, yeah, we're going. So I need to sort of get her back onto her hindquarters, and I need to push forwards into a nice working trot. So this is one of our movements again, where we've got to do like a mini figure of 8. Now I broke it, that was my fault, not hers. But she gave me everything I asked for, so we basically got to change the rein using a figure of 8 and come off of it. So it's a bit like an S sort of shape. It's one of the movements. It's a bit like a half moon S sort of shape. Then you come round, you halt again in front of the judges, and then you halt for like 3 seconds, then you move off into the working trot. So it is something we need to work on. A lot of it is with tricks is my fault, it's not hers. I don't give her enough prep, I don't give her enough forward time going, and that's something that we both need to work on. I need to regain my core muscle strength, because obviously I've lost most of that. So a lot of it is going to be taking the time in and obviously rebuilding us. So I'm hopefully going to start going to the gym to rebuild my core muscles. If not, I'll be going swimming with Ads. We'll be going sea swimming. So yeah, one of those will help at least.
Well, we've been training for it for about a fair few years, and we've been training at this, but now I don't even really have to touch a lot with her. So I'm only going to ask her to do a small one on both sides. But she's, hey, head, Chucky, is amazing. Right, do your best side first. And worst. Oh, sorry, I know. There we go. Good. And all this is done in sitting trot. This mare is so comfy. That's Bella, good go. Good go, boy. What are we on? You've got time for a canter on each rein if you want to do it. Just no ditching me. Just because the boys are there doesn't mean you get to show off. What do you think, buddy?
Here comes the canter work. And this is where I kind of screw her up. And it's not Trix's fault. She did save my backside. But yeah, I kind of screw up. Which you'll see why. Now, I do actually make her trot before we actually go straight into our canter, guys. Don't worry, I don't actually make her go straight from that to canter. I do actually trot the circle first, so we know it. But she picks up the canter really nicely. It's just me. My position is not correct. You will see this as I ask her for canter. I look down. I put all my weight in the front part of her shoulders. Even though she picked up the correct leading leg, she did everything correctly. When she went off, I kind of went forwards and I didn't go with her, hence the reason we only did a very small canter on that rein to begin with. And obviously a bit of the school is a little bit deep there, so it's a little bit harder for her. So then I put her onto the other rein, and I think back to thinking I just did that wrong, and I do actually correct myself. So we do go off on the wrong leg on this rein to begin with. I do kind of screw up. I do make her come back to me, as you will see, and you'll probably hear. So I'll be quiet for a moment, and then we'll go back.
All right. Girl, settle your trot down, Tricky. Right, just walk a second, whoa, girl. Right, can I sort myself out? All right, I do. I know. All right, I'm listening.
It still cracks me up. You can't see her in that corner, which is technically my fault where I placed the camera. But I made her come back to walk because I screwed up and I lost my stirrup, and yeah. But she was nodding her head at me as if to say, will you just let me go, for crying out loud?
Wrong leg, girl.
And yeah, so because I had screwed up and because my position was not in the correct place, we went off on the wrong leading leg. So I got myself back, I figured out my position, I figured where my foot was actually meant to be in my stirrup, and then we got the correct leading leg, and she didn't want to stop. She was like, no, I'm going, I can do this, mum, just sit there and behave and be quiet on my back. And it was great, it was a lovely canter. However, on that bend we became disunited, so obviously back to trot, just come back, we'll do it again another time. So I did kind of leave her canter work on this rein away, and I left it, and then I took it back on the other rein just to see if we could get it, but I wanted to let her have a little bit of a head stretch first. As you can see here, I know what I've done wrong, and she's telling me off, and Trix's subtle way of telling me off is snorting at me and nodding her head. So that with Trix, in a sense, is that's her being very polite but still telling me off because I know I did it wrong. So again, let her have a bit of a head stretch, let her have a walk out, let her stretch those legs out how she pleases, because she's quite an expressive horse to ride, as well as trying to teach someone how to ride her. Like last year I tried to teach my friend Tash how to ride her, and I was trying to tell her everything how to do it, and Trix was getting more and more frustrated, and it was like,
and then we're going to call it all quits on that. She's done really well.
So yeah, I was going to do one more canter, and then I was going to call it quits, because we did actually do enough work for that day. Obviously it was boiling hot on this day I rode, and yeah, she was sweating up and I was sweating, so I could kind of feel it. And yeah, I thought we'll give one last canter, see if we can get around the full circle on this rein. But she did try her absolute hard out. Now I do tell her to steady her backside up, because she went a little bit fast on this corner, which you will probably see. And then she almost lost her back foot, which, yay, right leg.
Now steady your ass up. Whoop, that's my
And there we go, there's the leg. So yeah, that was a bit of a woohoo leg trip. Big pat and ending the canter work there. So then I just gave her a nice loose long rein, as I normally would when I'm riding her, and let her stretch right down. And I obviously do a little bit of a debrief with you.
And I'm literally allowing her to just walk freely on a loose rein. Where are you going? She says, I want to go here, Mum. Oh, thank you, Trix. Walk on, darling. I've got a massive headache from this hat. I swear it's creating pressure points, but I've got her on a loose rein. I'm just letting her cool right off. I don't want that swinging too much, but that was a good session. Very proud of her. Whew. What a busy horse. Thing is, with Trix, you've got to keep going. You can't give her so long to think, what's the next move? You've literally got to be on top of it. Now when she's rushing like she did in the first part of the canter, wasn't very seated, and that was my fault. So for that sense I blame myself, not her at all. She tried everything, she does everything for me. I actually owe her a great deal, and she owes me absolutely nothing. An absolutely beautiful ride on this mare tonight, and she's going for a hack tomorrow, so she won't be in the school. I have ridden her in the school nearly 4 days running now, because obviously we are training up for a dressage event, but I need to canter in this event, so I sort of need to work more on my canter work, but I don't want to rush her into anything because of how old she is. Even though she'll give me 110%, I don't want to rush it, and I've got to the end of next month anyway. You are a good mare. You really are a good mare. Look, you can just let her go. She's just... If I had the Western saddle on, then yeah, I'd let her go completely, because the reins would just hook around the Western saddle. But what an absolutely fantastic, amazing mare to be able to ride every day when I feel like it. Come on, back. Tricky, back.
You're an awkward bugger, aren't you? Come on.
I know, good girl.
She hot?
Yeah. It was boiling in that school. Good girl. Oh, I know you don't like having your face done, but you're red hot and you need to cool
I
down.
need to find 3 days. Grab it, phone. Grab it.
Paige, will you dip that in and squeeze it off for me? That's it. I want some water on there, love, but not...
Easy, 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 easy. Good girl. Good girl.
There you go.
Alright.
Good mare. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean that to you.
No, no, I've got to cut the water away.
So, trigger worked. I'm on to Dixie. And I'm probably going to ask, why have you brought Dixie into the field behind the stables? Now, there is a very good, valid reason for it. Good girl. Now, Dixie, as most people know, can be a bit explosive and a bit funny. And we've noticed that, excuse my very bloated stomach at the moment. We've noticed that when she's in the school, she won't focus, she won't concentrate, she won't really do an awful lot. Big girl. But in the field, even with the others calling, she produces much more beautiful work. Plus the field is unlevel, so that also comes into consideration. And we're doing this all freaking lesson in a minute. Right, bloody stay there and be still. Yeah, it's unlevel, which does mean it gives her a lot more to think about. Right, let's get her cracking on. Good girl. Well done. Come on. Walk on. Good girl. So obviously when working on an incline, come walk on please, thank you. So as you would riding, your stirrups are moving, which is one of the reasons I put the stirrups down. Will you walk on? You're being a bit silly. Help me. Good girl. Right. That way. Thank you. Walk on. Good girl. Good girl. That's better. right, just want you to walk on a little bit more. Good girl. Woohoo! Woohoo! Ah, there's my girl. There she is. Horrible flies, aren't they, lovely? Come on then. Walk on. Good girl. Walk on. There we go. So she has to think about her feet, as well as, and pull your face up, mate. No, you're lame. Whoop. I just want to put her on the other end because I think she's gone lame. No, nope, 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 nope. Okay, whoa, 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 whoa. Nope. Okay. No for Dixie. Okay. I thought maybe she was putting it on, but I just pushed her forwards and no, she's not putting it on. She is actually lame. So it means that these guys have had another scrap, which isn't helpful. So we're going to take her down, untack. She doesn't need hosing off because she's not done a lot. But yeah, not good. Stay away from the dogs then. Right.
I told her to come. Where are you going?
I need you to watch her because she's just pulled up lame. That's alright, you can stay there. Hayes, can you get out of the way, love? I know the dogs are out.
Seems to be moving away. It's up that right hind.
Yeah, right hind is what she's just pulled lame up on.
She's a little bit stiff, I think.
Alright, Dix. Have you been kicked by Tricker or something over the hay last night?
Might have been.
It's this black one, isn't it, Dad?
Yeah.
Oh. She's got heat in that hock.
Alright. Shut up.
Shut up, Apollo.
Look at that high. Fly there. Good girl.
Good mare. I was going to say, I only just put her into trot in the field and I was like, oh well. Never mind, little pony. Poor girl. Something always with my horses. Tricky. Behave. So, I'm going to see how she gets on. I'm not too sure if she's putting it on or not because she is very good at putting things on, but give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to leave her in throughout the day. I'm going to check her tonight because I'm going to trot her up tonight. And we'll see where we go from there. Right now, something just doesn't seem right. Does it? Oh, hello, gorgeous girl. If you're putting it on, I swear you and I are going to fall out. Right. Taking the Apollo out, I've got Hazel behind who's been which I'm pinched. It's alright, Hazy. We're just going to take Madam out. She has got the roller on, so we're starting to obviously introduce the backing and everything with her. We're not going far, Hayes, alright? Good girl. There we go. There's a good girl, Apollo. There's a good man. It's Zaki. Good girl. Good girl. Well done. Come on. Sit up, darling.
Walk on. Walk on.
There we go. Good girl. Good girl, Apollo. Oh, Apollo.
Whoa, 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 whoa. She's going to get...
Wound up little thing, aren't you? You wound up. Walk on. Walk on. Round up. Walk on. Walk on. No, forwards. Good girl. Walk on, please. You know how to lunge. Get on. There we go. There. Yes, I know. On. There, well. On. No. On. Good girl. On. Yeah, that was you being a dick. Good girl, calm down. Good girl. Walk on. Good girl. Now we'll get her calm.
Okay, so with Dixie, who pulled up lame, and she was lame for most of the week. So we let her have most of the week off. However, she's now sound, so she is obviously coming back into work as of tomorrow when we start filming Weetha Live. So
Good girl.
this evening we decided to take the girl Apollo and Star for a walk. However, little Zaki got out, and then Hazel got a bit scared, and Apollo got wound up, so I thought I'll just take her in the school, do a little bit of lunging with her. Now Apollo is obviously still a baby. She's still learning school etiquette, shall we say. So it does take her a little while to actually get her brain back into, oh, we're actually meant to work in here. It's not playtime. It's not anything like that. So with Apollo, she is starting her backing to be under saddle process, hence the reason we're using the roller, just so she gets used to having the girth underneath her belly. She does call an awful lot. She does like to make her presence known that she is in the school, and that I am probably not the nicest of people to get her going forwards, and she doesn't like me very much when I try and push her forwards and push her through it. But when she does produce quite nice work, I do then praise her and change the rein, so all that is a good bonus. This is when she was being a bit stupid, so she made a bit of a mess in the school, so I did obviously refill those back in so no one's horses would get injured or anything like that, especially mine, because I don't fancy another vet bill. So yeah, this with Apollo is a lot of talking, it's a lot of shouting, it's a lot of rah 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 rahing sort of thing with her, and obviously sending her forwards. Now the thing with Apollo is to send her forwards doesn't always compute in her brain that I say forwards, I mean go forwards. She will sort of play me up a little bit. As you can hear, she is making herself presently known that she is here, and I am making her go forwards. She does protest a little bit, so it does take a few minutes to get her brain in to gear of working. So there we go again. She doesn't want to move forward, so I did try and send her forwards in the nicest manner possible, but then she was like no. So sometimes you do have to get a little bit funny with her just to actually get her to listen and to move. She's not always the nicest of horses to make move, because she is so fast and so quick if she wants to kick out or anything like that. Not that she's kicked out at me for quite a while, but yeah, once we had the calmness, we left it all.